preseason and their 4th overall preseason match. Bob Acamian along with Jeff Lemieux as we get ready to see a lot of different faces and numbers. Here's how the Desert Diamond Cup stands through 2 rounds. Houston has maximized their opportunities. They have 6 points. Sporting KC and Colorado with 4. And the Red Bulls, New York City Football Club, and the Revs all looking to move up on this final day as we get ready for Saturday's matchups. Let's take a look at the starting 11, and first for the Revs. And they made it interesting for us, Jeff, by not wearing numbers on the back of their tops. They do have numbers on the shorts, but you know this team. But this is an unusual starting 11.
Yeah, we're going to have to see exactly how this group lines up as far as formation is concerned. We will sort that out as the game gets rolling. But for the Revs, the 2 big stories here, Xavier Kouassi back in the starting lineup. He'll probably get 45 minutes today, which would be his longest run out of preseason. And Femi Hollinger-Jansen reacquired by the Revolution 1 week ago today, making his first preseason appearance for the Revolution since arriving from Minnesota.
Sporting KC is going with a 75-minute group. A lot of their newcomers, and we'll ID these as we go along since we're already off and playing. But you're going to see Elias Sanchez, Gerso Fernandez, and Latif Blessing all in this first group. Of course, they're all newcomers and expected to give Garem Zusi some help, especially Dom Dwyer this year. At the very least, get some attention away from Dom Dwyer defensively. Dwyer is not in the starting 11. We will maybe see him for the final 15 minutes, but this secondary group and young group is going to play the first 75. So an early surge by New England. Now we've seen the Revs now in 2 matches really have some good run of offense, forechecking, holding the ball in well, but not getting result. And it's that last little bit of connectivity that Jay Heaps wants to see out of whatever 11 he has on the field.
Yeah, those first 40 minutes against the Colorado Rapids on Saturday, perhaps 40 of the best minutes the Revs have seen this preseason, were only able to turn it into 1 goal. And then Jay Heaps obviously a little concerned with some of the defensive miscues that the Revs had at the end of that half.
And there's some opportunity wide sent in, but covered up, and that appeared to be.
That's going to be Daigo Kobayashi.
Yeah,
finishing off the chance. The Revs taking a first-minute lead, and obviously it's a goalkeeping error. Tyler Turner playing the ball in from the right side, and Daigo Kobayashi, Johnny on the spot.
Wow.
Be one of the easiest finishes of Kobayashi's career, and the Revs on top early.
1-0 for New England. That happens on a bang move. And Kobayashi, Johnny on the spot, being alert around the goal. That takes you back to indoor. Tattoo, who got so many goals in the indoor match, just hanging around the front. That was excellent service by Kouassi from the right side. And the loose ball tipped in, so to speak, by Kobayashi. I would give Kouassi an assist.
I believe it was actually Tyler Turner who played that ball in from the right side.
And I would give Turner the assist.
But as we spent the first minute talking about all of the chances that the Revolution created on Saturday against the Colorado Rapids, so much good attacking play in and around the 18, weren't able to turn that into more than the 1 goal that they created. And then opening up things here today, it's just a cross from Tyler Turner. It's not the best cross, but he's whipping things into the box. He's putting it in a dangerous area, forces a mistake, and the Revs take the lead.
Revs have possession again, working from the left side. That is going to result in a goal kick. Well, let's talk about the threesome that we're told we'll see up front, and let's see how they really are shaping up, if you will. Or the 2 up front, that at least we're told is a 4-2-2. And so Brian Wright, along with Teal Bunbury. And then behind them is Kobayashi, but we saw Kobayashi obviously filling in. And I assume Kobayashi's going to kind of have run of the offense that he wants.
Yeah, it might line up something more like a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
The starting group for the New England Revolution, kind of the first choice group that we've seen throughout preseason, has played largely in a 4-4-2 diamond. When they've gone to secondary lineups, it has switched around as far as the formation. Jay Heaps has said this preseason that he wants to have a few different looks kind of in their back pocket throughout the course of the season. So it does look like Brian Wright kind of up top by himself. Femi Hollinger-Jansen out on the left side, Teal Bunbury out on the right, and it looks like it might actually have Tristan Bowen lined up at left back right now, which is a completely different look for him, a player who has played forward throughout the course of his career and has played out on the wing for much of preseason with the Revs. It looks like he is filling in at left back today.
And we'll see how aggressive he is bringing the ball down. Maybe they want to take advantage of his offensive sense. Well, here's some good work for KC into the box. Nice cross. Kept in play. That is Tyler Pasher, Swope Park player, who in fact had the assist against Colorado from that very spot. The ball that was headed in by Jidic in the first match here last week. Talking about the goalkeepers, we're going to see 4 of them most likely in this match. The Revs starting with Brad Knighton, and they'll bring Cody Cropper in at some point. Both played well, and don't take that result against Colorado numbers-wise as meaning anything. Both the keepers were excellent. And, of course, we're dealing in the second. In particular, Cropper had to deal with quite a bit of wind. We think he had 7 saves.
He was definitely busy.
Minutes. He faced 8 corner kicks. And Colorado scored off 2 of them.
And for the Revolution, just 10 days out from that opener in Colorado next Saturday, and it is still a goalkeeper battle for the Revolution. Still not sure at this point whether it's going to be Brad Knighton or Cody Cropper starting that game at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, and it might still be decided through these last 2 preseason games.
Some blessing on the ball, lost control. Now Madranda. Lincoln will clear it, and then they'll just put the ball into touch here to get everything shaped up properly. And man down for New England. And that is still Blessing, who got hooked a little bit, and that was about 2 moves previously. Lost control of the ball before Miranda picked it up, or for Sporting KC.
I didn't see exactly what happened on the play, but the right move from New England in that scenario, particularly in preseason, just to play the ball out.
And now the officials speaking. I don't know if there's going to be a card. It's going to be a really late card. But getting a talking to.
Got to look at it.
That looks like Watson, Javon Watson. Oh, I see. The hand might have come to the face.
Yeah, Watson just trying to shield the ball off there. Might have gotten an errant arm up into the upper chest, throat area.
So Blessing will step off for a moment. Will not come out of the match. Substitution rules, as you may have noticed, are very loose. You cannot come back into a match, but a lot of substitutions being made essentially on the fly, just a wave to the 4th official, and there are unlimited substitutions throughout the Desert Diamond Cup. But most teams are playing, and I've liked seeing this, really playing it like a true match. There have been some mass substitutions, but that's been scheduled.
We'll likely see that from both of these teams today. As
yes.
you mentioned, Sporting Kansas City planning to play this group for about 75 minutes. I believe the Revs playing their starting group for 45 before that Saturday game when we will see the Revs play a lot of their starters for 80, 90 minutes.
Tyler Turner working hard on the right side for the Revs. And now a little unpleasantness as Sunini Sad, back from playing in Thailand, goes down. Sad is going to play a role with KC this year. Played with Pattaya United.
Always nice to be able to bring back an experienced MLS player who you know can perform in this league, is familiar with your team, is familiar with your setup. In Kansas City, able to do that with Sunini Sad.
Long ball forward and a foot race, and there's Blessing back in the match. Not able to control it, though.
Well played from Josh Smith, a player who's still at this point in preseason trying to earn a roster spot. A 4th-round Super Draft pick. Showed a little bit of sneaky speed there for a 6'4" guy.
Now, we called his number a bit now these last 2 matches, so he's making his presence known. There's nothing wrong with big guys who can move. We saw that in Colorado the other day. They got a couple on their back line. And again, here's Blessing lurking. He's got Pasture with him. And Blessing will get everybody else involved. I like seeing that. To Miranda trying to go through on the right side. There's a Rev player there to deflect. And that was I liked what Blessing did there.
Blessing has certainly been one of the more active Sporting Kansas City players through the opening, 8 minutes of this match. A lot going through Blessing down the left side.
And he is as far forward as you can get up on that front row. That ball was intended for Blessing. Revs doing a pretty good job containing with that back 4 right now.
Yeah, and certainly a little bit of a makeshift back 4 for the Revolution to start this game off. London Woodbury comfortable in central defense alongside, as we mentioned, a Super Draft pick, Josh Smith. Tyler Turner at right back, another player, a trialist in camp, MLS experience with Orlando City, but trying to earn a roster spot with the Revolution. And then, as we mentioned, Tristan Bowen, the wild card out on the left side, a player who, as far as I know, does not have a whole lot of experience on the back line.
New England forechecking nicely. They deny that clearance, so that'll be a throw in deep for Sporting KC. A victory and a draw so far in the Desert Diamond Cup. Sporting KC opens on the road at DC United March 4th and home for the opener against Dallas on the 11th. Tickets available through SeatGeek, new partnership this year for Sporting KC. That ball sent in. And so we've seen early on Turner trying to do some damage from the right side, and he has. He set up that first goal. In the back now. Medranda working with both of his backs. And now they work the ball to the right side for the first time, but it's Cameron Porter can't hang on to it. You see Sod there. A long throw in for New England. Sent back in by Jidic.
Yeah, both teams still kind of settling into this one through the opening 10 minutes. The early mistake handing New England a lead, but since then, been a lot of play through midfield. Kansas City working a lot, as you mentioned, through Latif Blessing down the left side, but nothing to speak of in the way of chances really in the opening 10 minutes besides the goal which came from a mistake just about 40 seconds into the match.
That was Kobayashi from Turner as we saw it. Revs working nicely in the midfield and change direction. And retreat on the left side. And some good communication going on for New England.
Tristan Bowen getting involved going down the left. He'll certainly be comfortable going forward from that left back position. The question will be his positioning defensively.
Bunbury in deep. Encounter with the keeper. In the goal area. Actually, it's not Bunbury. That is
right down.
Right. Bunbury got that started. A little give and get. And we're going to get a little assistance.
Flag was up for offside, but Sporting Kansas City keeper quick off his line. Brian Wright a little bit late to the challenge. He ends up worse for the wear.
Yeah, he was off balance with that leg and ended up taking the worst of it. Both of them, though, are going to get a nice bruise on their quad for that. There you see the Kansas City keeper, the starter, Andrew Dykstra, formerly of DC United, 6'4", 200, out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Wright is up, and that's going to smart. It's not as cold as it was Saturday. It's 71 degrees right now with almost no wind. Quite a contrast to the chill fest for Saturday's afternoon matches.
As nasty as it was on Saturday, complete opposite in just about every way this afternoon. From you mentioned, the no wind to the sun. Absolutely perfect conditions for a little afternoon soccer.
And even for teams that are used to playing in weather, and you count the Revs, you count Colorado, Kansas City, it's always windy in Kansas City. They come down here and everybody it's a problem because we'd like to get nice conditions every day. So that was a little distracting for everybody on Saturday. The forecast, by the way, for this coming Saturday, the final day of the tournament, is just like today, 70s. It might be a little breezier, but nothing significant.
Yeah, as much as the players and coaches would love to play in perfect conditions every game, speaking with Jay Heaps after that game, he said, look, these are conditions we're going to deal with throughout the course of the season. Yeah. There are going to be games where it's pouring. There's going to be games where we have to deal with the wind.
What's it going to be like in Denver March 4th?
So exactly, in preseason, it's not the worst thing to have to deal with some adversity as far as the conditions and have a group try to adjust in that way. So a little bit of practice in that sense last Saturday.
See the Revs winning a couple of 1v1 battles, and saw Wright last time down. Wright took on 3 defenders.
Wright still a little bit ginger as he gets back into the field, but he'll be okay. He'll have to work himself back into things a little bit here, but I think he might be feeling that collision for a little bit until he can kind of work the kinks out.
This is the first of 3 matches today from Tucson. You'll see them all on our MLS YouTube page and Fox Sports Go. Individual team websites. Richard Fleming from Colorado will be here for the last 2 matches today. So we had a strong Kansas City presence with Nick McCady and his crew, the last couple, and now Richard's going to be the boss man here in the booth. Rapids have to be pleased with their effort on Saturday. And they're in the mix for the cup. Remember, the matches on Saturday, quick whistle and a foul, play on for New England, theoretically are going to be 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, 5 versus 6. There are some tiebreakers. But in an event of teams that are going to either face each other early in the season or have just played one another, there are not going to be repeat matchups.
Yeah, they'll always work to make sure the teams are playing against squads that they want to play, so they're not seeing teams multiple times in preseason or seeing teams that they're going to be seeing early in the regular season.
Saw Bowen send that in, and Dykstra backed all the way into the goal but kept the ball out. And a quick rally for Sporting KC. The matchups are supposedly going to be firmed up tomorrow morning, because everybody wants to know who they're going to play. So after tonight, so we'll keep showing you standings based on the actual results, but just know that you may see a different schedule posted tomorrow. Here's some action in the box for the Revs. They've got 3 men in good position, now a 4th. And just offside in the box.
Daigo Kobayashi straying just a bit offside there. Some good work between Kobayashi and Brian Wright, a little give and go to kind of kickstart things down the left side to start that attack. But then Kobayashi drifting just a tad offside.
But he liked the communication. Everybody was thinking the right way. Kobayashi was going to have a good angle. And again, that's that little extra step of control into the box, but not just for the sake of booting into the box and see what happens. The other matchups today, the Red Bulls play Houston in our next match. That will be interesting. 2 teams that are very finishing-minded and aggressive around the goals. Mentioned Houston's made the most of limited possession. Revs held them scoreless to the 54th minute in the first round match here.
Yeah, the second half of that Houston game, always going to be a difficult task for the Revolution, putting in kind of a second-choice group filled with a lot of trialists, super draft picks, played against what was largely a first-choice lineup for the Houston Dynamo, and Houston certainly taking advantage of that. Eric Kubo-Torres scoring the game winner early.
Houston is going to be challenging because it is a different look. Wilmer Cabrera went and got some South American players, maybe people you're not as familiar with, and you're going to have to really scout them hard. And I hate to say play conservatively, because inevitably it's like prevent offense. It prevents you from winning, prevents you from scoring. But they are definitely capable of turning the tables on you quickly.
It's always kind of an interesting scenario to play against a club with a new coach early on in that coach's tenure. Obviously, that club is trying to figure things out a little bit, kind of form their own identity, but at the same time, teams are trying to figure out how that team is going to work under a new coach. So yeah, it's a little bit of a difficult proposition for both sides.
Scrap in the midfield. Madrondo wins it. Tries to get Blessing going. On the left side, it's kind of Blessing against the world right now. On the left, he's
certainly been involved.
But in his defense, he is looking at his teammates, and he always has that eye in the middle. So he's not trying to do it all by himself, but the Revs are coming after him, and with bigger guys, too. Blessing is generously listed at 5'7". Here he comes. Yep. Pasha with him, but again goes to the middle.
It's Tristan Bowen with the clearance there. He's been strong enough through the first 18 minutes. Positioning has been good. Hasn't really been taken on one-on-one just yet. That's a great tackle from Tyler Turner.
It's a Revolution very good defensively early. A lot of takeaways. Like, I don't think there were no official stats being kept in these matches. I don't think KC has a shot.
And I'm not sure besides besides the goal on the mistake in the first minute, whether the Revolution have generated a shot
That's
either.
true.
It has been a lot of midfield play through the opening 19 minutes.
Kevin Ellis retrieves for Sporting KC in the back. Another long ball. Man down, that's Saad. We play on. And we reach the 20th minute. 1-0 New England. Kobayashi in the opening minute.
It's well done from London Woodbury in that scenario. Saad getting in behind him. Always a tough situation for a defender to be trying to recover in that type of scenario, but London Woodbury doing enough to force Saad off the ball, not give away the penalty, clear the danger.
KC, good combination in the middle. They find Pasher. Ellis at the top. Madranda. And Madranda takes it wide, sends it across. Too powerful in the box, and back to the keeper. Cleared away by Knight. So a little switch there as Madranda goes wide. Blessing drawing some defense, but Madranda chose to try service to the right side.
A combination we've seen quite a bit in the early stages. Madranda linking up with Latif Blessing. Madranda getting himself on the ball again here.
Madranda sends it in, and that's a beauty. Didn't need to find anybody there. Bends it back on the far post, and we're level at 1.
That is an absolute rocket from Jimmy Madranda, worthy of pulling Kansas City level in the 21st minute. There's not much Brad Knighton can do on this. Madranda taking this crossfield ball down well, given just a little bit of space outside the top of the box. No hesitation. Catches that one across the ball. Looked like it might have been from our angle heading outside that right post. Gets a little bit of swerve back on it inside the post, and Brad Knighton, no chance. We are level 1-1 in the 21st minute.
That may be the prettiest goal of the tournament so far. And again, that was where New England's defense had to respect Blessing. So Kansas City, a little variety in their attack, and we've seen Madranda now taking the lead instead of Blessing last couple times down, and it pays off.
Sometimes a scenario where you'll give a player like Jimmy Madranda that space to let him take that shot early in the game, but then once he hits a shot like that, I don't think Madranda is going to be getting that type of space anymore.
Well, and that's also the reason why you let your better ball strikers take those shots from that distance. There's Posher. Seeing a lot of action. Swope Park kid. This is, of course, the Canadian who thought he was out of the game after his college years. Toronto Academy didn't advance him, so he goes and plays in Finland.
Which coach are you talking about?
He was with Pittsburgh in the USL. And then thought he was done.
There are always some of the best stories. A lot of the players who come out of college, late round draft picks, who think once they finish up their college career, that might be it. All of a sudden they find themselves in an MLS camp. And for a few of them, every now and then, an MLS or professional soccer career.
And he has an assist already. That was against Colorado in the first round of this tournament. And will be, if nothing else, a major force for Swope Park this year. He and Jidic both playing a role there for the twos. KC switching the field, left to right now, they'll retreat. And we come to the halfway point of the first half. Again, we're going to have a short halftime, just 10 minutes, so don't get too fancy in your sandwich making. Blessing gets some help. And there's Mustavar, who's done a good job containing in the back. Now he'll retreat. And KC works it right again.
Kansas City certainly getting a bit more comfortable on the ball. They looked dangerous in the 5 minutes or so leading up to the goal and since the goal coming into this game a bit.
Another long ball strike. Trying to get up for the header is Porter. And Blessing kept it in play, gets it right back to the middle. And that foul's going to go against Kansas City. Trying to keep it in the box was Cameron Porter, 6'1" forward, originally played from Montreal.
It's well done from Javon Watson there, just to put himself in a position to get fouled, essentially.
But not to commit the foul. Here's the coach of the Revolution, Jay Heaps, year number 6.
Entering his 6th season as well.
Was there a bar across the top?
11 victories, 9 draws last year. Just missed postseason. Tying the Union. Strong emphasis on attack. From what we've seen already, this is going to be a fun team to watch.
Have been in years past as well. Last year, the question with this club, defensively, conceding 54 goals. Look to address a lot of those issues by signing a pair of central defenders who we're hoping to be able to see in the second half, Benjamin Angua and Antonio Molinar de la Mea. But offensively, with the group that this club has, adding Kai Kamara into the mix last year, getting him a full half season and now a full preseason with this club, there is certainly, as we saw through the first 40 minutes of that game against Colorado this past Saturday, the potential for some pretty attacking play. The question will be whether they can turn that into goals consistently.
First set piece of the match, Jimmy Medranda was already showing he can defy the rules of physics with that bender brace that made it 1-1. Sends this one in low. That's Watson. Getting a boot on it. But KC keeps it in. Medranda again, a little high for Blessing to get the header. And we'll do it again.
Yeah, Blessing does just enough at the back post there. He's rarely going to win a back post header at 5'7", as you mentioned, but he does enough to force Tyler Turner to have to make a play and play it over the end line and create another set piece opportunity.
You see a little smile there. He got it done. So the second one, ball still loose. Danger zone there, and covered up by Knighton. That's way too many bodies in front of you.
A bit of a scramble in the box. It ended up on the foot, actually, of Blessing right in front of Knighton. Just tried to turn it on goal with his back to goal, and Knighton well positioned to be able to scoop that one up.
And I was just going to say, I'm talking about Blessing's height. He's not going to win at the post, but boy, you get him right in front of the goal mouth, and he's got quick enough feet to redirect anything.
So sometimes players, the smaller players in the scrambles like that in the middle of the box are the guys who kind of get lost in the shuffle.
So the Revs avoid giving up a second goal and now have the ball back in the attacking end. And yeah, you talk about New England style. I think same Kansas City's offensive style is going to continue to be a fan favorite this year. Yeah, we're told we're going to see Angua. Now, this will be his first action, right, of the preseason.
Joined the Revolution at the beginning of their Casa Grande camp back in late January. Had a little bit of a hamstring injury from his final appearance in France. Then had to spend some time out of the country dealing with his visa situation, getting that sorted. But he has trained full the past 2 days. Spent a lot of time alongside Antonio Molinar de la Mea, the other New England Revolution recent central defensive signing. And there is hope that we could see Angua get some time in the second half of this match. Jay Heaps did say that he did want to get Angua some minutes in the Desert Diamond Cup, so if we don't see him today, then at the very least would expect to see him for a bit on Saturday.
Good opportunity for KC in the box, 2 defenders. And Porter not able to really square things up on his foot, so this will be a goal kick for Knighton.
It looked like Porter was going to be in behind there, and again, it's a precarious situation for Tyler Turner to have to defend in that situation, to try to put Porter off from behind without conceding a penalty, but Turner doing just enough to force Porter to kind of skew that shot wide.
So Knighton boots it away, 29th minute, and how nice not to have that 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing at you.
And Brad Knighton's going to have nightmares about seeing his goal kicks coming back at him midair.
And especially Cody, who it was in the second half and in that goal.
And one of Colorado's goals actually resulting directly from a Brad Knighton clearance that ended up dying just outside the 18 and forced a turnover.
That's right, they both had to play some in that second half. Posher retreats to Kevin Ellis. Ellis, a homegrown, right out of the academy at Sporting KC.
You're going to see that more and more as the years progress throughout Major League Soccer teams rosters becoming filled up with homegrown players. It's a great direction for the league to continue going.
Yeah, it really is. That's one of my big, always wishes for the sport in this country is the real successful development of the academies, because frankly, that's how it's happened in the rest of the world. Hey, there's one of the veteran coaches in this league, and one of the few who has the title of manager in the MLS. But Peter has his hand in everything in the Kansas City organization.
Yeah, Peter
Player
Vermes,
acquisition.
no question, has established a very firm identity in his Sporting Kansas City side and led him to the title in 2013.
Blessing and Sod and Posher combining there. Posher has it back. Now retreat. Madronda. A little detaining there in the box. We play on. I think Peter Vermes is the kind of the epitome of the European style manager in MLS, and certainly it's paid off for KC.
Been a big fan of that 4-3-3 high pressure, forcing teams to play out of the back, forcing turnovers in dangerous situations, something we've seen the Revolution adopt as well in recent years.
KC 2013 MLS Cup champs, US Open Cup champs twice. Fifth in the West last year. And of course, the KC fans who expect to be in postseason have endured a little string of first-round road losses to teams that ended up winning it all.
I'm sure there were more than one Sporting Kansas City fan last year who felt a little bit aggrieved by the way that game in Seattle went. Some refereeing decisions in that game that Sporting Kansas City fans felt like should have gone their way, and perhaps had they gotten past the eventual champion Seattle Sounders FC, obviously the MLS Cup playoffs would have played out a little bit differently.
And I really felt like that was the match that kind of showed Seattle that they could get this done, because they'd gone through the coaching change late. They were still putting combinations together. Dempsey was not playing, and they kind of had to figure out who they were. And getting through that match by whatever means necessary, I think really propelled them a long way. All right, first set piece for New England now. Opportunity in the air.
And
No play by Madrona.
No surprise, Daigo Kobayashi looking for Josh Smith in that scenario. 6'4" center back actually scored against this Kansas City side on a set piece in their previous preseason meeting here in Tucson.
And here comes KC again. Blessing. Posher. Madronda. We know these three like each other. Now Ellis will change directions. See if KC tries the right side. Knighton puts the ball back into play. New England Revs, Sporting KC on MLS preseason. Thanks for sharing your lunchtime with us around the country. Welcome all of our viewers this past couple of weeks. Happy to bring you all the great action from Tucson. Of course, once again, FC Tucson, great host, 6th year of the Desert Diamond Cup.
New England Revolution have been here all 6 years. All 6 years of Jay Heap's tenure as head coach. They have finished up preseason at the Desert Diamond Cup in Tucson. I'm not sure I see that changing anytime soon.
I'll say if Jay likes it, probably not. Man, his complex is so nicely spread out, and each team has its own practice pitch all the time. Kind of come and go as you please, use your time. A very nice locker room facility and service everything. The grounds crew, we're in the middle of the desert, and this is some wonderful grass. A little short for what some people are used to, but wonderful playing surface.
Tough to ask for much more as far as a preseason setup, especially with so many MLS clubs continuing to come here each year. The competition is as good as it gets as far as preseason.
So Femi in the mix there. Haven't called his number yet. To see him get some touches.
Yeah, a lot of defensive work for this entire Revolution group through the first 35 minutes or so, which we've seen quite a bit when the Revs have put out their secondary groups with trialists and super draft picks. These are a lot of players who haven't played a ton together. They're trying to get the system down. A lot of players trying to earn roster spots. They have spent a lot of time kind of working on defensive shape, and we've seen that really through the first 35 minutes here today too.
And it's really been good. I mean, we've seen a lot of individual defensive takeaways, so Jay's got to be happy with that. You saw Femi working against Pasher. New England throw-in from the left side. And on the move again, Latif Blessing. Long ball, trying to find Saad. Saad's got to keep this in play now, and he does. But a goal kick for New England.
Again, Josh Smith getting pulled out into that wide right position, and when that has happened, he has not been shy to go into a tackle.
No.
We've seen him go down twice in that area, and both times he has won the ball, which if you are a center back and you're going to go to ground out on the right wing, you better win the ball.
Yes.
He's done so both times.
Otherwise, you're leaving a lot of room. No, he's been pretty confident in that defensive posture. Now the Revs throw in from the center line. Final 10 minutes of the first half. Given a short halftime, just 10 minutes worth. Change of field, long ball forward. And that should be a goal kick. Are we going to send it to the corner? No.
We might have pulled it back for a foul there.
Oh, okay.
Set piece opportunity for the Revs.
I was just about to say that was a good bit of defense. Not so much. Allowed this.
It was a good initial ball from Xavier Kawasi. Crossfield ball to set up the opportunity. And for Revolution fans, it will be promising to see Xavier Kawasi. This is his longest run out of preseason. As we mentioned, started with a 17-minute run out, then went 30, now into the 37th minute here.
Tristan Bowen. The kick, nice header in front. Second header over the, well, it's not out of play yet. Still in play. Revs stay on it. A quick service. And New England will retain possession again. And high in the air, Dykstra has to extend to control that ball.
And again, on that initial set piece, the Revolution looking for and finding Josh Smith, the biggest target inside the box at the back post, playing the ball back across the face of goal. But ultimately, Kansas City able to deal with the danger, and Dykstra corralling the follow-up cross.
KC will try the right side. Ball sent forward by Jidic. That's Benji Hoya. San Jose native. Played in Mexico last year. KC not shy about changing direction more than once. Blessing directing traffic. Or Pasher. Pasher, good service on the foot. And a deflection by Knighton. Denies Knighton having to scramble. But denies Saad.
Again, Kansas City dangerous down that left side. Most of their highest quality scoring opportunities have come down that left side. It's a great cross to the back post, and Brad Knighton having to come up with a big save, holding strong at his near post, kicking away that opportunity.
Bosher, nice ball from in very deep to the end of the line. Now the Rebs back in the offensive end. Into the box, retain possession. KC defense finally takes it away.
Looked like Brian Wright was going to have himself a clear look at goal there. Got a little bit of a slip from the Kansas City defender, and I think Wright it opened up more for him than he thought it was going to. But back to that Kansas City chance, you mentioned a great cross from Basher, pulled down at the back post. I believe it was Sunni Saad and Brad Knighton holding firm, using the feet to kick that one away.
Substitution for Kansas City. This was scheduled. Igor Juliao is in. And he replaces Saad Abdul Salam.
Juliao, another former Kansas City player that Peter Vermes will bring back into the fold this year. So a player who, again, familiar with this club, with the system, with his teammates. Tristan Bowen getting on the tackle down the left side. He's looked, for a player who's never really played defensively, relatively comfortable at left back in the first half. Positioning was a bit off on that last cross that Knighton had to make the save on.
Well, here's how we got this far. Kobayashi in the first minute, taking out the trash. And then a beautiful bender from Madronda. Now I see somebody gave an assist to Hoya. I think that was unassisted. Madrona had to work the ball on the ground a bit.
Regardless, it's certainly the finish that that earned the majority of that goal. An absolute stunner from Jamie Madranda.
All right, third corner now for KC. Trouble in the box. And Knighton one-hands it. With Blessing coming right in his grill. Waiting to hear if we have any stoppage. We may have a minute from that early injury to Wright. There's been very little stoppage added, though, in these preseason matches. All the coaches and managers want to get quality 45s out there. There is no extra time in this tournament at all. If the championship match on Saturday is even, there will be a shootout just to add a little spice to who gets the trophy. Blessing gets it back and is taken down. And the first yellow of the match.
It's London Woodbury. No question he gets the ball on this tackle. It's just a matter of how much of Latif Blessing he takes as he wins the ball.
Yeah.
Referee obviously determining that he took a little bit too much of the man.
And a good spot for a restart here in the 43rd minute. Boy, I'd have Madronda have taken that. Saad is on the ball right now. Well, we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, Woodbury getting a little high with the follow-through. That's where I think the yellow card comes out there.
Saad puts it into play. Another nice bender. Revs can't quite clear it. Possession still with KC. Now in the 44th minute.
Another look at that free kick. Benji Gioia sending into the far post. Knighton strong off his line. Realized that he wasn't able to catch in that scenario, but too strong fist to punch it away.
Still no stoppage declared. There will be 1 minute of stoppage added. The very first match, and it wasn't the of this tournament, it was of the friendlies, there was 5 minutes of stoppage.
Don't see that too often.
But that hasn't happened since. I think a bunch of coaches got together and said, we don't need this much. So one will do. Play in the middle. So both teams have shown some flash on offense. And that is why we are level. And we're at the 45th minute, so the extra minute just beginning. And you got to watch this guy. Blessing. He's gonna. I think KC's content with what they have right now.
And Jimmy Medranda has certainly run the show through midfield for Kansas City, but Latif Blessing, working consistently down that left side throughout the first half, has been one of the most dangerous players for either side.
20-year-old from Ghana. A major addition. And of course, we're looking forward to seeing Jerso Fernandez probably playing the final 15 again, the Kansas City starters, with the exception of Abdul Salam, scheduled to play 75. So we should see the same group back out here. With Juliao, of course, involved as well to start the second half. And we're just waiting for the whistle, and there it is. And we have reached halftime. New England, Sporting KC, 1-1, and it all started in the very first minute. Kobayashi in close off a goalkeeper error, the tap-in, if you will, made it 1-0, and then Medranda with a beauty in the 21st minute, evening things up. Both teams, a lot of chances offensively, so even with non-traditional lineups, I think good showing offensively in the half.
Yeah, I think Kansas City, Peter Vermees will have to be very pleased with what he saw from Latif Blessing. And the first goal is Kansas City responding to that early mistake that handed Daigo Kobayashi the opener. It's an absolute stunner from Jimmy Medranda to level the score in the 21st minute. You can see from behind the goal, Brad Knighton.
That is sweet.
No chance on an effort like that. Perhaps Medranda given a bit too much space from a Revolution perspective, but credit to the Kansas City midfielder who took the space and certainly made the most of it with an absolute rocket to pull Kansas City level 1-1.
And because it is preseason, I did refrain from one also.
A little early for that. Although if it was regular season, I'd have been okay with the use of Galazzo.
Because I try to really limit it to the really good stuff. That's been the really good stuff in preseason so far. All right, short break here, just 10 minutes. For those of you watching on the YouTube channel, we are going to reset it, so don't be alarmed.
neither of you guys have shuttering. Yeah, but it's kind of cleans. It's a sharper picture. So I'm at 160. So you guys want no one. Okay, so I'll take my shutter off because you guys don't have it on. So I mean, 160 ain't bad.
We told you we have a short halftime. Ready to go now with the final 45 between New England and Kansas City. Bob Acamey and Jeff Lemieux with you from Tucson. And we switch sides. The Revs will be moving right to left as we see it in the second half. And there he is for the first time, and Ben Angua from the Ivory Coast.
Preseason day for Benjamin Angua. Joined the Revs for their first preseason trip, dealt with a bit of a hamstring injury, as we mentioned. Paired up alongside Antonio Molinar de la Mea for the first time. So exciting for New England Revolution fans in these second 45 minutes to see their new center back pairing together for the first time this preseason.
And this is maybe what you're going to see as that opening day lineup up top. Kamara and Wynn playing together. Right behind them, Juan Agudelo. And in the midfield wide, Fagundes, Kellen Rowe, Holding, Scott Caldwell. And in that back row, Donnie Smith, maybe the interloper. Although he's got to feel good playing with the regulars here.
Yeah, Chris Tierney normally obviously holding down that left back spot. Left training just a little bit early yesterday, so Donnie Smith gets the run out with the first team group today.
And then Angua, de la Mea, and Andrew Farrell.
And also the change in goal for New England, Cody Cropper coming in for Brad Knighton.
So the Revs trying to push forward early, and of course we've seen the Revs regulars being very assertive offensively the first two matches of the Desert Diamond Cup.
And we'll see how quickly that chemistry continues between this group. It was essentially this group that played that first half against Colorado on Saturday, and for, as we mentioned, 40 minutes of that half, the attacking chemistry
really good.
Was about as on point as you want it to be in preseason. Generated quite a few clear-cut scoring opportunities, converted one of them. Would have liked to see the Revs convert two or three of them. Certainly had the opportunities to do that, but they'll look to continue that fluidity, chemistry, and movement here in these final 45 minutes.
Caldwell, Fagundes. Fagundes equally dangerous, 6 goals and 6 assists last year. For Kansas City, Porter is out. Christian Valesky in. Free agent forward. Played for Rochester in the USL. Ball sent in. In the air, looking into the sun. And corralled by Andrew Dykstra. KC again will make their wholesale substitutions in the 75th minute.
And for the Revolution, expecting that it will be something close to this group on the field right now that'll see the majority of the minutes on Saturday in that final preseason match as they gear up for the opener the following weekend against the Colorado Rapids.
Jay Heaps has a pretty good idea what 11 he wants to put out there and slowly bring him in game shape. A little contact at the end line. And this will be a New England corner.
Ngua getting some of his first action of preseason. Well positioned there, but Kansas City does come away with a set piece opportunity.
Or Kansas City, I should say. They did switch ends. And that's Hoya. Blessing again, trying to get in the middle of everything. And he actually did get his head on that. Smallest man out there. But the ball to touch, and New England will have it. And both these teams play Saturday. Don't know the opponents yet. We do know the match times. 3 o'clock Eastern, 5:30 Eastern, and 8 o'clock Eastern. And again, it will all be posted tomorrow. We'll certainly have all the matchups on the YouTube page and also on the Fox Sports Go front page. And check your team's front page. We've had some great coverage on all the websites. Teams are well represented here with their broadcasters, PR staffs. My partner here has some fine interviews.
Appreciate that. As Kai Kamara
taken
loses
out
his
by the
footing.
ball. Ball made a nice tackle. And our friends at Kansas City have done a great job. Nick Bucati, they had the whole broadcast crew out here for the first part of the tournament. Thanking them for trusting us to take over the rest of the way. Whole new look and sound in the broadcast booth this year. Jillian Carroll joining the team. Matt Lawrence. So I look forward to enjoying Sporting KC matches. And you can just tell, and it's fun looking at all the team sites because there's, just like the interviews with the athlete, it's much more relaxed in training.
Preseason is a great time to get a lot of that content. Teams are out here kind of secluded a little bit, away from a lot of everything as Juan Agudelo through here.
Uh-oh. And Dykstra very assertive there, almost too assertive, but I thought it was a good decision because the ball was going to be at the feet of the attacker. And Dykstra was not going to let any of that happen.
It's a well-timed run from Agudelo, and if Dykstra does not come off his line to snuff out that chance, then Agudelo is going to have all the time in the world.
Here it is.
It's a fantastic ball over the top from Diego Fagundes to find the run. It's well-timed from Juan Agudelo. First touch, not exactly what Agudelo wants, and then a little bit of a slip in the box allows Dykstra the time and opportunity to come out and corral.
You don't snow ski.
And here come the Revs again. Ellis, good job on defense. Still in play, though.
And the Revs already with this second group looking a lot more comfortable, dynamic going forward, which you would expect from this group of attacking players which have been playing together for quite a while now.
Yeah, but I don't want to go off all the effort.
Man down for KC. You can hear the Air Force and the Air Guard out practicing today. Tucson is an airplane city. Davis Monthan Air Force Base. One the oldest in the country. In fact, the Tucson Airport is the oldest continuously operated airport in the United States. So we get quite the display of military aircraft pretty much any time it's a nice day. And a good display of KC offense here. Lesky just came in, playing catch with Hoya. And Hoya smartly retreats, finds Zuliao. Hoya, nice ball through. Finds Valesky.
It's a good build-up down there from Kansas City on the right side. The final ball not there from Juliao, but a lot of the linking and interplay down the right to create that opportunity to cross there for Kansas City. And again, at the end of preseason, that's what you're looking for at the end, is that final ball, that final product. Juliao just overcooking that one just a little bit.
Kansas City looking for more offensive options this year. We talked about how much Dom Dwyer had to take the lead. Here's a good opportunity in front, and no one helps defensively, and New England takes the lead, 2-1.
2 preseason appearances, 2 goals for Juan Agudelo, back from U.S. national team duty. And this is a fantastic finish. Great build-up. The Revs go quick on the counter. Lee Nguyen finds the run from Juan Agudelo. It's well-timed. 1 touch to set himself up. Does not waste his time. Finishes coolly past Dykstra inside the right post. Juan Agudelo continuing that form that he finished the 2016 MLS regular season with, showed in camp with the U.S. national team to start the year, and now carrying it into preseason.
So 2-1 for the Revs. And Agudelo left way too unoccupied. That's the old the Fab Four used to always say this about, you're not on the scouting report. It's like, I think Agudelo should be on the scouting report.
Juan Agudelo, New England's Golden Boot winner last year. 7 goals.
5 assists. I like the versatility with him and Fagundes. You know, they're capable of scoring or setting up.
And New England's entire attack really set up in that way with players like Diego Fagundes, Kellen Rowe, Lee Nguyen, Juan Agudelo, who all of them can score goals, but all of them can set up as well.
But they can also combine them in different ways. But again, what I was starting to talk about Kansas City and Dwyer, and Rob Dwyer will probably still take a lot of opportunities this year, but you know, last year it was pretty much him and Benny Feilhaber and Jake Peterson, who's gone. That one a bridge too far, and it'll be a goal kick. And so by bringing in Fernandez and Blessing, Tom will probably still take a lot of shots, but defense will have to be a little more honest. And frankly, it's amazing that he gets that many shots off anyway, considering how defenses just follow him about.
I'm sure Dom Dwyer will continue to be a focal point of the Kansas City attack. And a focal point of other teams' defensive game plans.
Here's another yellow.
Going to be Andrew Farrell who picks up the caution here. Again, it's a tackle on Latif Blessing. Continues to be dangerous down that left side. No argument from Farrell on this one. Yeah, Blessing just getting himself well positioned on that to turn down the left wing, and Farrell just a little late in the tackle, coming in from behind just a bit.
It was certainly not vicious. Farrell brings a lot of body anyway, so.
Certainly an athletic force at the right back position. Kind of has the body of a fullback, but a lot of athletic ability at that right back position.
Has been a very clean match, and Jair Marufo, our man in the middle, making sure it stays that way. Both yellows on strong but not vicious tackles. There's Blessing. Draws another foul.
You get the feeling with the type of player that Latif Blessing is, kind of low center of gravity, shifty player, moves the ball quickly, that he's going to be the type of player who's going to suffer a lot of those types of fouls anytime he's on the ball. Very much like Lee Win.
Yeah, because he carries so much momentum that he is going to tumble on a tackle. Good run into the box by Posher, but he's denied. And Cropper picks up the loose ball. Cody Cropper again had to play much of that second half in the face of the wind and rain, and made more than a handful of saves, unofficially 7 against Colorado. Gave up a couple goals, but he was under assault.
Perhaps the best save he made in that game coming from one of his own slips as he attempted to clear. It ended up a highlight reel save as he backtracked to push Kevin Doyle's attempt over the crossbar and then slammed into the post himself. But Cody Cropper certainly did himself a favor on Saturday with that 30-minute performance that he had as he's trying to fight into the starting role.
Fourth corner kick for the Revs. Cleared out of harm's way, but New England should still have possession. And just dumped back in. Icing, if you will.
Now Ngua strong on the tackle there. That'll be a promising development for New England Revolution fans and for Jay Heaps, who's getting his first look at Ngua in live game action.
New England in deep again.
Certainly a question of handball there on Christian Valesky as he slipped. Certainly not intentional, but most definitely caught the hand just outside the box. That would have been a dangerous set-piece opportunity for New England.
Revs hang on to possession, though. And New England builds slowly. Gets everyone forward. Fagundez doesn't like what he sees, so retreats. They'll start it again, head to the right side. Long ball, and the tip in. And again, some good service results in another Revolution goal. It's 3-1.
Juan Agudelo getting his second of the game, third of the Desert Diamond Cup. This one assisted by Kai Kamara. Was expecting the flag to perhaps come up there, but it looks like Juan Agudelo able to hold his run deep enough for Kai Kamara to play that ball across the face of goal, and Juan Agudelo stays red hot this preseason.
Watch Kamara's ball.
That's Andrew Farrell keep doing good work to keep that ball in down the right side, and Juan Agudelo perhaps straying into a bit. There's a question of offside there for sure. It's still a great ball from Kamara playing across the face of goal, and Agudelo does what he should in that scenario, just getting the ball on target. Dykstra unable to keep it out.
Now, video review is in play right now. When the referee puts his finger to the ear, he's being advised by the video review officials, but he will not look at it. And the command to play on means review, play stance.
Enough in the video replay to show that Juan Agudelo was indeed onside. And that is the point, to be able to get these calls right.
And do it quickly. You know, the whole idea of the VAR, the video review, being implemented this year in MLS is to correct wrongs when they can be corrected. And there'll be two scenarios if you watch matches this year. The referee in the middle will put his finger to his ear. That just means he's listening to the review officials who are looking at replays. And they have every camera that is in use by TV on site. So they have all of our cameras today. Plus they have the bonus of 2 cameras on the far side of the field, which are set wide just to look at offside. So they had a good look at the far side camera on that. And so the referee is simply getting help when he puts his finger up to his ear. When they signal a rectangle like a TV screen, the referee in the field will then go to one of the 2 stations on the far side to add to the review by looking himself.
And as you mentioned, the goal not to get every single call throughout the course of the game 100% correct all the time. But those game-changing scenarios, red cards, goals, penalty kicks, you want to make sure that you're not changing the course of the game on incorrect calls.
You don't want to send off a player for the wrong reason. You want to set up the wrong. That's a lot of what I mistaken identity with red cards is something nobody wants that to happen. And so those are correctable things, and that's how it's being used. It's been quite successful. I don't think we've seen, well, there's always the question about a handball or an offside, but I don't think we've seen anything confirmed or reversed that didn't seem accurate once you looked at the replay. So that's the whole point. Some fans may disagree, but
people will always disagree about everything, I think.
There's one of the two. They have a station on each end of the field at the 18, and that's to give the center referee, of course, the shortest distance to do the review themselves. This will be in every MLS stadium this year. And, of course, this is a FIFA initiative. Substitution now for KC as Dan Shallowy comes in. And
it looks like it's Latif Blessing gone off on the other side of the field.
Blessing took a tumble there. And maybe he's hit the dirt grass a few too many times now. They want to make sure he doesn't get too roughed up. But Blessing certainly made a showing.
A solid 62 minutes for Latif Blessing, along with Jimmy Madranda, Benji Hoya, who's been involved as well. Certainly one of Kansas City's most dangerous players.
And again, coming up in the 75th minute, we'll have wholesale substitutions for KC. They trail, though. It's 3-1 in favor of the Revs. And with the A group in there now, scoring twice in the second half, it's certainly mission accomplished when it comes to finalizing the scoring opportunities. Ooh, there's a dangerous ball sent in by Hoya, but a bit high.
Not a bad idea from Hoya in that scenario when you get the ball falling at a good height for you there. Unleashes, catches it just a bit under the ball there.
Again, KC getting ready for the season opener in the nation's capital against United, and then home at Children's Mercy Park, March 11th, FC Dallas. That's a pretty good early Western matchup.
New England will open the season at Dick's Sporting Goods Park against the Colorado Rapids on March 4th before they come home to open up their home slate on March 11th against Orlando City SC.
And of course, we just saw that matchup back on Saturday. Colorado opportunistic. Colorado as good as anybody in the West, especially at the end of the year, but like everybody, they couldn't get past Seattle. And, just like the year before, Portland was the hot team. And I think Kansas City, Dallas, Colorado all feel like they're going to be in the mix. I think Portland's going to be better simply by not having guys hurt. And the Sounders haven't made many changes.
If Colorado can continue the home form that they had last year, particularly defensively, I think 11-0-6 at home. I think conceded 9 goals in 17 home games. That's always going to give you a shot.
Tough plays, tough crowd. Weather could be anything. But they relish. They don't. That's funny. They don't mind playing in snow.
No, if you're in a cold weather climate, you love playing at home in snow.
Takeaway here for KC.
Turnover in a dangerous spot there from the Revolution. Had to quickly transition into defense, and Angua well positioned to block the shot.
Yeah, Angua with the block and starts it the other way. Wynn wearing the gold trim boots. Ooh, a little grab in there in the middle. We play on. There's Wynn. Wynn's got the keeper out, centers it up. Oh, and it hits both posts and goes in. The man with the golden boots finishes the job.
It'll be Diego Fagundes on the end of this one. A crazy sequence to set this goal up. Kai Kamara involved originally. Looked as if there might have been a foul in the buildup, but Kamara doing enough to win the ball back. Lee Wynn finding himself down at the end line. Here's Kamara initially losing that ball.
Kamara
does enough here to win the ball back. And then Lee Win ending up with the ball in the corner. Dykstra off his line. That's fantastic work from Win to get that ball around the edge and play that ball back across the face of goal. And it is not an easy finish for Diego Fagundes from that angle. Plays it back across the face of goal just enough to kick it off the far post and in. And New England's lead extended to 4-1.
And that does deserve 2 assists because Kamara worked really hard to hang on. And I thought Win hit both posts. I didn't think Fagundes got the foot on it until we saw the replay. But that was good hard work by everybody.
Sneaking at the right spot. It's a simple finish in that there's no keeper, but it is a decidedly non-simple finish from that angle.
Yeah, just to be in that spot. Quick answer at the other end for KC. Just never look at the goal. This is how it was by the net. That's how close.
And from that angle, with defenders recovering, there's really only one spot Diego Fagundes can put that shot, and it is back off the far post. And he's able to do it. And for New England, who created a host of opportunities through those first 40 minutes against Colorado on Saturday, we're only able to finish one of them off. And speaking with Jay Heaps after that game, he said one of the primary things he wanted to take from that game was the inability to finish off a lot of those chances. If they had finished off 2-3 of those chances, perhaps they could have put the game away earlier. And certainly getting that here through the first 20 minutes of this second half, not only generating the opportunities, but finishing them off with 3 goals from this first-choice attacking group.
And again, some quality. Kamara, who had the assist on the second Aguadeo goal. Again, plays a big role hanging on to possession, setting up this one. Again, I think I love it. This is now the first team doing this work together. This is what Jay Heaps is going to be really happy with.
And this is a group that has spent years together, really. Guys like Kellen Rowe, Diego Fagundes, Lee Win, Juan Agudelo, Kai Kamara joining in May of last season, but had that full half season with the group, now gets this preseason. He's really kind of starting to gel with this attacking group, and you're seeing the benefits of it through this preseason.
You got a good look there at Win. There he is on the right. He's got a gold trim on his Adidas, reflecting nicely in the sun.
Got to be a confident player to wear gold
I
on your
know.
cleats, but not as confident as you used to be. When I was a kid, if you wore gold cleats, you better have been the best player on the field.
That's right.
Now a lot of guys wear gold cleats, but Lee Win certainly has the confidence and the ability to rock a little gold trim.
Offside. Bring it back. So New England, pretty comfortable position here, and of course they're going to have the starters presumably play the entire second 45. KC is going to mix things up and bring some fresh blood in for the final 15, but that'll include probably Jerso Fernandez, maybe Benny Feilhaber. So we'll see some of their power, maybe Dwyer.
And that'll certainly be a test for the Revs when those changes come. I think for these final 20 minutes or so from the Revolution perspective, with a 3-goal lead in the second half, Jay Heaps and his group will shift their focus to a lot of defensive shape,
Yes.
making sure that they don't give away the chances that they gave away against Colorado after generating a lot of the opportunities on Saturday. Not to say that they won't continue to attack when the opportunities present themselves.
Again, Farrell gets things started. Finds camera. Fouled in the box. Well, he didn't get that call last time he was in position. And now a PK coming up for New England.
Kamara doing the work to win the penalty alone in the box. Not much he could do besides try to shield the ball off. He does that, draws the foul, wins the penalty.
And it looks like Win is going to take it. So it'll be Win against Dykstra. Dykstra's done some good things in the net. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, New England's first choice penalty taker for a few years now.
PK coming in the 73rd minute. Wynn gets it! And that is the highest goal total of any of our preseason matches in Tucson. It is 5-1 New England.
It's a calm finish from Lee Nguyen. Dykstra goes the right way, stays low. He does about all he can here, but it's a finish from Lee Nguyen, low to the corner. It's hit well enough, with enough pace that Dykstra just can't get a fingertip on it. New England's lead is 5-1.
73rd minute. Wynn makes it 5-1. And you would think this would be a good opportunity for KC to make the big swap, but they're going to stick to doing it on the minute. At 75th, we see goalkeeper Tim Melia getting ready. And this ball will come through. Cody Cropper quite unoccupied in the second half. He must enjoy that.
After the barrage he faced through much of the second half on Saturday, he'll be okay getting a little bit of a break back there.
Go back.
Still to come at 4 o'clock Eastern today, Red Bulls and Dynamo. Dynamo on top of the table right now with 6 points after 2 victories. The Red Bulls have split their first 2. Both teams have been pretty dynamic offensively, so we'll look forward to bringing you that. Richard Fleming from the Rapids will be calling that, and he'll stay with us for our 7 o'clock match. NYCFC looking for their first victory against Colorado.
So nearly an opportunity for a 6 there. A fantastic ball. Diego Fagundes playing that one over the top. Another well-timed run from Lee Nguyen. It's just a bit too far for him to get a final touch there as Dykstra came out to the top of the box to corral that ball over the top from Diego Fagundes.
Again, Dykstra do very direct. He just challenges the man, takes the angle away immediately. Well, now we see the gathering of KC subs at the table. Just 9 substitutions coming in.
Just
at
the 9?
Next opportunity. Just 9. Now the goal kick, I think it's going to happen right now. So we are told that Mustavar will stay. He'll be the only starter who does not come up. And then Zuliao, who was, remember, a first-half substitution, he will stay in as well. Everyone else subs out for Sporting KC. Matt Beasler in right now, leading the way. Get the veterans out there. Seth Sinovic. Graham Zusi coming in. Ike Opara. Let's see if Failhaber is out there. There he is. And Gerso Fernandez, new face, number 7, designated player this year, played in Portugal.
Plenty of recognizable faces for the casual MLS fan as well at this point for the final 15 minutes. Look like we'll have just about first choice teams for both sides.
And this could be entertaining with fresh KC legs. So just because it's 5-1, don't go anywhere.
And from a Revolution perspective, this is what they'll want for the final 15 minutes is
good test.
With a 4-goal lead and facing fresh legs, a first-choice Kansas City side. Can they kind of lock things down and prevent the types of opportunities that they conceded, as we mentioned on Saturday against Colorado?
There's a new goalkeeper at the other end. That is Tim Melia. Formerly with Chivas. It'll be interesting to see a refreshed second franchise in Los Angeles. And of course in San Diego, here comes Wynn. Wynn could be waiting for teammates. He tries to send it through for Kamara.
It looked like Wynn was going to have a go there on the initial
himself,
turnover. Thought better of it in the end. But initially the counterattack cut out.
On the run, that is Fernandez. Right side of the box. That attack blunted. And of course, we'll have a talk with Los Angeles. San Diego is making a strong pitch. We talk about all the western cities looking to get involved. San Antonio, Sacramento, Phoenix. That was Phoenix prospective ownership group, very aggressive, willing to invest. Sacramento, of course, has had a great USL franchise. And San Diego with great history, including their great indoor history.
A lot of cities around the country eager to bring Major League Soccer in. We'll see how that develops over the next few years or so.
It was interesting living in the Bay Area. The Earthquakes were such a fixture in the 70s in the NASL, and they brought in the second team in Oakland, the Oakland Stompers, and I think it was 77, and they made a big play of getting Shep Messing away from Tampa Bay, who of course was NASL legend, in goal. And unfortunately they tried to build a team around a goalkeeper, which generally doesn't go well. But I can remember being at that very first game, and they filled the whole goal behind the Oakland goal with high school teams, and we were all goalkeepers for one day.
Shep Messing certainly had the personality you could build a team around.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned difficult to always build around a goalkeeper.
And I believe he ended up back in Tampa. And that was tough because, the Earthquakes were so well constructed with all their Englishmen, Johnny Moore. And they always seem to have that one playoff loss, though. They always end up facing the Cosmos in the semis.
We mentioned it before, the playoffs, same thing in Major League Soccer. It's a different beast.
So you can tell KC, even with their stars in there, not quite connecting just yet. So eager to see if they can create a little quality here in the last 10 minutes. I'm sure that's the objective for Peter Vermes.
It's relatively comfortable right now. Hope to continue in that vein for the final 10
they're moving
minutes
well. Guys have played a lot of minutes. Of course, the Revs made their changes at half.
For Juan Agudelo, it does seem like he has not had much difficulty adjusting to that protective face mask that he has to wear after suffering a small facial bone fracture while on U.S. national team duty. 3 goals here in the Desert Diamond Cup with the mask on.
Yes.
And if he continues scoring, he'll have to keep wearing the mask.
Nice footwork there. In tight, Wynn as the keeper out, turns, beats him, scores! Wynn toys with Tim Melia and makes it 6-1.
We mentioned New England would be perfectly happy with staying back with the 5-goal lead, but they would attack when the opportunities present themselves. And on the counter here, Diego Fagundes looked like perhaps the chance was going to be gone, but he's able to recover, sets up Lee Wynn, and Lee Wynn in that scenario so calm, so patient to wait out the keeper, create an opportunity for himself. It's a calm finish. It's Lee Wynn's second of the game, New England's 6th, and the lead is 6-1 in the 82nd minute.
And the goalkeeper actually is Adrian Zendejas. Sure, Melia does not want to be taking the heat for all that, but it was Zendejas who subbed in. And now it is 6-1. So the Revs now have a positive goal differential for the tournament.
Not easy to do after falling by 2 goals in
No.
each of your first 2 games.
Yeah, this is going to make, I think, prepping for the 4th match a little easier. A lot of could-have-beens and maybes now coming to pass in this first group, working just as well together. So a very positive day for New England. And Sporting, of course, warming up for their 4th match, and I suspect we'll see all the regulars on Saturday. Saturday's going to be some good stuff to watch. And we'll be getting started at 3 o'clock Eastern with the triple header. Again, those matchups will be determined tomorrow morning, so watch online at the FC Tucson website. Also at our YouTube page, we'll have those matchups posted as soon as they're available. Same story on Fox Sports Go. And your friendly neighborhood team website. The guy sitting next to me will have New England's website updated immediately.
Always appreciate the shout-outs. We
By
try.
By the way, fun. You talk about Aguadale. There's I noticed you have a little video of him being quizzed on famous men who wore masks.
So we figured now that Juan Agudelo is a masked man, he should know fellow famous masked men, and he actually knew quite a bit more than he thought he was going to. But yeah, Juan trying to name the 4 Ninja Turtles at the end of that video ends up being one of the best parts. So if you have an opportunity,
members of KISS.
Yeah, take a few minutes to watch Juan Agudelo try to name famous masked men.
That foul goes the Revs' way. As we work through our final 6 minutes. The Revs will be 1 win, 2 losses. KC will have 1 of each. Oh, and now we have some serious unpleasantness at the back. And you don't like seeing this in preseason.
It's Dom Dwyer and New England's 4th round super draft pick, Josh Smith, who has actually replaced Benjamin Angua after that 6th goal. Something happening off the ball between Dwyer and Smith. Dwyer going back after Josh Smith. Yeah, just a little bit of off the ball. And then Dom Dwyer certainly not happy with Josh Smith there. Both players picking up yellow cards. Probably the right decision at this point. Just to warn both players. You got 5 minutes left in a preseason match, but it does set up a dangerous set-piece opportunity for Kansas City.
Dwyer again, the high-volume offensive player. Hadn't called his number yet since he came in. Now this is a situation, and I don't think it's the case here, or now is it, where video review would be used to see who was an instigator. Now, this was fairly obvious and in front of the official, and they just called 2 yellows. But this would be a situation where if the referee didn't see this, the video assist could pick up on some retaliation away from the ball. And that's a bit high for Dwyer. Dwyer slotted a penalty kick against Red Bulls pretty convincingly. Last Saturday. I think what might have been going on there, too, might have been a little respect thing with the youngster Smith. And
yeah, Smith, a 4th round super draft pick, still trying to earn his way onto this Revolution team right now, but certainly hasn't been shy to mix it up.
no. And again, Dwyer, who gets his share of contact during the season, I'm sure doesn't appreciate it in preseason. KC looking for some quality here out of the first group. This might be the new first group with Fernandez, There's Mustavar, who's played the entire match.
Unsurprising here in the closing stages. New England dropping off just a bit with that 5-goal lead. Kansas City maintaining quite a bit of the possession in the last 5 minutes or so of this game. But New England comfortable and confident. You just sit deep, absorb a little bit of pressure, close this one out.
Yeah, aside from all the goal scoring, I think 69 minutes of clean sheet for the defense is pretty good too.
I'm sure in speaking with Jay Heaps after the game, we'll be talking quite a bit about the goals and the attacking play, but as Graham Zusi gives this one a go.
Oh, and there's a single strike. No particular build-up, but that is powered home in the 88th minute to make it 6-2. And that is Graham Zusi, who had 2 goals a year ago, just coming off a stint with the U.S. national team.
I'll throw this one on you with the commentator's curse. But Graham Zusi not hesitating to absolutely unleash from distance. I think perhaps surprising
Nice.
Cody Cropper a bit. Not that if Cropper's ready for that one, he's going to be able to do anything with that shot anyway. It's an absolute rocket from Graham Zusi, knuckling off the underside of the crossbar and in. And it's a late consolation goal for Kansas City, but it is something for
Right.
Jay Heaps to analyze at the end of the game. He's obviously not going to be super thrilled to concede at the end of this one, but New England's lead now 6-2.
Thus ending these 69 minutes of clean. Well, at least the commentator's curse is in effect in preseason. Oh, there's another screamer on the ground, this time by Fernandez.
But up until that goal from Zusi, to your point, New England
Okay,
had been
very
relatively
good,
comfortable
yeah.
defensively throughout this second half.
Where there had been lapses against Colorado and Houston, so I think that has been a big plus. And we're told there will be no stoppage. As expected, this half has moved along without much delay. So this is it, the final 30 seconds. And KC looking for one more look. There's Zusi again. Fernandez being ridden defensively. And a restart coming here.
We'll probably see Kansas City able to get this set-piece opportunity off, and then the final whistle will come shortly after this set-piece opportunity.
And the veteran, Benny Failhopper, will take this. Another guy who got some quality time with Team USA in January. To the middle, Zusi fires again, and that is high and wide, and that should be it. Just wait for the final whistle.
And why not for Graham Zusi after you score a goal like he did a couple of minutes ago? Let him have another crack. Obviously
Save.
doesn't catch this one quite the way that he caught the goal.
Yeah, but Benny knew who to give the touch to. Yeah, Failhopper, one of the stronger efforts. I know people weren't thrilled with the 2 matches in January, particularly Serbia. But Failhopper, decent relationship with Bruce Arena. Well, now we're told there will be 2 minutes of stoppage, so that added late by our official. So we'll have another minute or so after this.
Good defensive play there from De La Mea to get himself in position to win that foul. De La Mea, another strong 45 minutes from him. 30 minutes alongside Benjamin Angua, the first time we've seen New England's new central defensive pairing together, relatively untroubled for those 30 minutes. So certainly a good sign from New England's perspective in that scenario. The Revs will love that they scored 5 goals in this second half, but a lot of focus as well on that central defensive pairing.
KC forward again. Now they'll attack from the left. Good service into the box. Dwyer. Ball's knocked loose. And a corner coming up. And this may well be the last touch of the match, as KC will get another set piece. Well, some good chances there to work on this stuff.
These are still important scenarios throughout preseason, but for both sides. Attacking set pieces for Kansas City, defensive set pieces for New England.
Feilhaber again. Kept in play at the top of the box by Sinovic. Sinovic out to the corner.
We continue to play on.
Yeah,
we're going to play for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So Feilhaber goes to the other corner now, showing his versatility. See if he's going to restart this quickly or he'll boot it in. Nice ball to the far post. Kept in play by Fernandez. It comes right back to Feilhaber.
Sure how that ball stayed in play.
Send in one more time. Well, KC's getting some good practice, and that is it. Thought they were going to keep the ball in play until the Revs cleared it. So lots of action here in this third round of the Desert Diamond Cup. And New England, the winner by a 6-2 count. Jay Heap's going to be happy with this as we settle down for those last meetings and unpack the day. And let's take a look at all of the second half goals. And there were many of them.
I can't even remember the order of the goals throughout the second half. Juan Agudelo
2-1.
Kicking things off for the Revolution. Fantastic finish there. Great work here from Kai Kamara, again across the face of goal, and again it's Agudelo in the right place at the right time. The calm finish at the far post.
Now, Kamara wins this ball and keeps things going. He doesn't get the assist, but Wynn does.
It's fantastic work from Lee Wynn to get that ball back across the face of goal from that scenario. And Diego Fagundes, really the only thing he can do from that angle, play it back across the far post.
Now, Kamara fouled in the box, and this set up the penalty kick.
It's a calm, confident finish from Lee Wynn, low
5-1
to the keeper's left.
And if you haven't seen enough Lee Wynn,
there was more to come.
Here he is, mano a mano with Zendejas.
It's a good setup from Diego Fagundes, and this is so calm and confident from Lee Wynn. Not to panic, not to just slam it into the keeper from a tight angle, but to wait him out, create the chance for himself, and it's a cool finish to the far post for his second, New England sixth.
Then KC with the starters in, Zusi. Bam!
Yeah, only the two goals for Kansas City this game, two absolute rockets from distance that the keepers are going to have no chance on. And that shot from Graham Zusi, an absolute
forget
rocket.
Madranda, way back in the 21st minute with the equalizer for KC, was a big-time golazo. Well, that'll do it for the third round. Here is all the scoring in the match, and, of course, big days for Kamara and Agudelo and Wynn. All contributing nicely, and again, beautiful goals for KC by Madranda and Zusi, and of course, all of our scoring, as we say, unofficial today. So, 3 matches in. New England now will come back and play in a trophy match in some combination on Saturday. Again, we'll have all the game times and matchups tomorrow at the FC Tucson website and also on the MLS YouTube page. Look for those matchups there. Same story for the Revs and KC. The Revs now 1 victory against 2 defeats. KC 1-1-1. Still to come today at 4 o'clock Eastern. Red Bulls, Houston Dynamo, followed by NYCFC and the Colorado Rapids at 7 Eastern. For Jeff Lemieux, I'm Bob Akamian. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching MLS Preseason.